But I was anticipating maybe another support that might be decent at grouping up. I guess the Witch Doctor with the heal, but you're not going to put too many levels in it. And you see they are lacking at least some ways to deal with the AoE. Viper very single target, Witch Doctor, pretty single target as well. So the Chaos Knight going to get picked up here from TNC. We have seen it ran as a position 3 the only time it's been played so far.
5 seconds remaining.
And it was by Cuckoo, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, I agree with you about the heavy single target focus. Like even Tiny, honestly, like yes, you can do a good amount of AoE stun and damage, but that's probably going to be pretty rare. I think it's going to be mostly focused around the pickoffs. Witch Doctor, you might think, oh, the casks are guaranteed going to be bouncing between all of these illusions, but if you get close enough to cast the cask, you're probably going to get reality rifted, bolted, and just dead. So it's a little risky for them, and they're following it up with a PA. Again, kind of single target focus. Has to be said for Motivate. So I'm a little worried for them. They don't quite have the same level of versatility as TNC does.
Yeah, and you see they're holding this ultra last pick as well for the carry matchup. So at least going to be able to give them a pretty good time here. We'll see what Motivate are going to play. You can still flex the Tiny and the Viper, but I'm pretty sure I'd say like 99% chance. The Viper's 3, Tiny 4. So looking for their position remaining. 2 here to try and lane up versus the Wind Ranger.
5 seconds remaining.
What is? Can I go back into someone like a Zeus maybe to help deal with the Chaos Knight illusions?
Probably less likely the Zeus. Maybe something a bit more like a Queen of Pain, something that's not just going to, like, if you put a Lena in the lane against the Zeus, the Lena wins most of the time, and then they could put the Wind Ranger 4. And as well with the Zeus, I mean, yeah, you deal with the illusions, but you're in a similar sort of situation as the Witch Doctor. If you get close enough to cast, most of the time you're just going to get blinked on and dead. So I'm not feeling the Zeus this time around for Motivate.
Yeah, I was also keeping in mind that last time we saw the Chaos Knight was with the Terrorblade, and that was against a Phantom Assassin. So I thought potentially they wanted to go to the Zeus and block that, but they actually just banned out instead.
10 seconds remaining.
Looking for what are they get rid of the Morphling as well. So another hero that's not going to be able to be played here for the position 1.
TNC, they're not taking their time with making their picks. They've got their full 2 minutes of reserve time remaining, whereas Motivate went down to the wire last time. So we're down to the last 2 picks here for the mid lane. What's going to be able to deal with all of this? I feel like the Quap is still pretty okay.
Pick. Like the Mag.
Yeah, Mag Band's pretty good.
See that steroid for the Phantom Assassin that we don't see at the moment. And a lot of time there is always someone to really buff you up. So depending on what they want to go in this last pick, I mean, there's not really much available to be able to do
10
so.
seconds remaining.
I guess, but the landing stage would have been rough for the Mag if they wanted to run that mid.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, I think it's Quap.
So for TNC then, what are they trying to look to pick to deal with the Phantom Storm?
It's fine. It enables you to get back in onto the Phoenix, take some tension away from the rest of your team that's going to be running into follow-up, and that's when the Phantom Assassin can really blink in and do the damage. Focusing on the Lena, you would assume, or just doubling up onto the Phoenix. Maybe Tiny goes in onto the rest of the team. So I think it fulfills the same sort of niche as the Queen of Pain does. I was just a little bit worried that if they were going to do a Storm, if they ran the Lena mid, he would have a bit of a harder time than the Queen of Pain would have. But yeah, Storm's perfectly fine too.
Be worried that the Storm might just get picked off a bit too much, and like we've seen what the Wind Ranger can do when teams aren't grouping up, and what the Wind Ranger suffers when they actually do group up as a team. It gets rid of that pick off potential, but the PA is going to be farming a lot, trying to find that Battle Fury into the items, Storm Spirit as well. Seeing if he's not really someone who likes to group up.
Yeah, he needs the Orchid minimum before he's going to be wanting to join in all of this. And even in the laning stage, honestly, I know you're talking about the mid game, but even in the laning stage, if you get on point with a Shackle, as Lena's going to want to rotate around that 4-minute mark, you're not going to be level 6 by then. Stun, burst him down, not too much a Storm Spirit can do about that. So It's I always like to point out, which heroes we need to be focusing on as to how the tempo of the game is going to be. Most of the time, it's the supports or the mid laners, and for this time, I would have to say it would be the Tiny for Motivate is heavily on
Choose
Q's
your
side.
hero.
How are they going to lane this? I know KP likes playing the Void Spirit a fair amount, so
Chaos
it might
1
potentially be him.
with a Void Leaner as your 3 and 2? Because I mean, the Void Spirit in the lane versus the Storm feels a bit iffy, but as the game goes on, if you are played as a core, okay, well, what's going on? Because KP is on the Chaos 9, so something's interesting's coming through.
So is it a 1 Void Spirit? The only other person that I know that really does that is Mickey for Liquid. So it's not like it's completely unheard of. It's just maybe TNC are experimenting with a few things. I know I've heard Blitz talk about things like changing up farm priority. Typically, it was like Tiger and Boxy that are doing it in the off lane, but the
10
flexibility to
seconds
have
remaining.
to be able to switch things around, no, it's going to be Gabby playing a POS 1
5
Rin Ranger.
seconds
So really
remaining.
wanting to put a lot of emphasis into just shutting down this Viper. I mentioned when these first picks were taken, it's like, well, it's a good matchup, but Wind Ranger's not a 1. Clearly, I'm wrong, because what does the draft say right here?
I'm intrigued about them picking up the Void Spirit though, because I'm a big fan of Leaner against that matchup. Any Yule set up with the LSA, you can really take over, and that's someone who's going to have a lot of damage throughout the early to mid game, before the Storm really has the items to jump the Leaner. Void can kind of do the same. The only thing is that the lane matchup isn't as strong as what the Leaner has. So
I wonder if this means that instead of going something like a Yule Scepter on Armel, he's just going to straight rush the Ags, just for that little bit of extra control that he might be able to get, put a lot more pressure onto the Storm Spirit. It's just a matter of how does he get there with Fearless having the slightly stronger lane, you would have to assume.
is there a draft you're favoring at the moment? TNC going for a bit more of a wonky one. We're seeing this position 1 Wind Ranger try and deal with the Viper. Are you a fan of the experimenting, or do you think Motivate are going to be able to take this?
Give me a minute. I'm not even going to wait for the first blood. Just give me a minute. I feel like you don't see this type of experimenting happen all too often within Southeast Asia, especially for a team like TNC. It feels like they're very structured, regimented, and this is something completely out of left field. So I'm keen to see how it turns out. How are the lanes going to go?
Yeah, that's always going to be the question with the lanes, if they can take over. I mean, Radiant can be pretty slow here. Like, you've already highlighted that you want to keep your eye on Tiny, and that's going to be the big factor, because PA is going to be looking to try and, we saw Savage what he can do when he gets to the late game. This is the one of the better carries at the moment, at the top of the MMR graph in the Southeast Asia region. So the issue is, though, he's on a Phantom Assassin who's going to be a little bit more slow. Storm can be a bit slower as well. If you go Orkin and hit that timing, then you can feel pretty strong. But if you die an extra couple times and then the enemy team, and then you don't really have anyone to make the plays, like the Witch Doctor can't, if Boombell, if Q kind of struggles on that Tiny, then it could be awkward here.
It's a rough one, yeah. How many times do you see an Observer Word like this one placed in the dire jungle? Gives no vision over runes. I mean, why not just put it on the high ground? It's pretty unlikely that that's going to get dewarded, but oh well.
I think it's just because the position 4 Tiny is going to make a lot more movements. Like, a lot of time we see the Tiny trying to gank mid from top, right? So if you put it, the issue is that with where that is situated, like, a lot of the time if you're going to put it like on top of the high ground, it's still going to get both those areas. I'm a bigger fan of like near the stairs instead, because then at least gets the river, because then it gets both. Because so if he runs through the river, then you're going to see that, and if he runs near the outpost, you see that as well. So yeah, actually, I do agree. I prefer like right on top of the stairs, pretty much.
Agreed. Or maybe like slightly back from the trees, just so that you're getting that full jungle vision.
Yeah. So just again, just the emphasis really trying to shut down the impact on the Tiny this game. So. We'll see also on the matchup on the Void Spirit with how he's going to phase. Going up against a 25 in the Storm
tosses back
Spirit.
KP underneath the tower, getting a few of those poison attacks in onto him. decent stun, but he might tick out from this. Only one more right click's probably needed. There it is.
And I love what they've done, you know, just swapping up the lanes here, well aware that the Wind Ranger, you know, playing as the one wanting to try and lane into this Viper, so they're trying to swap it up, you know, get the Viper against the Chaos Knight, not the greatest matchup, and they're actually going to keep the lanes. Chaos Knight TPing down
For the toss again.
Q. Well, they get the LSA, but it's not going to matter. Now Tim's is in trouble here, and there's not really much KP can do. Chucks out 2-second stun, but Q's already got the level 2, so Tim's just going to TP out without any way to be able to cancel that, but he is all the way back to base.
And now you've got a melee against this Viper. Good luck getting any last hits, KP.
So are you, like, we wanted to see the Wind Ranger versus the Viper, and felt like that's kind of main reason why they really put it as a 1, at least for the lane. But the fact that Chaos Knight actually TP'd back down after the death instead of running top is this a little bit of, I don't want to say like a misplay, but is this going to make the lanes really awkward now?
It's going to make it a little awkward, but I think they still just want to prioritize the fact that Gabby needs to get huge on this position 1 Wind Ranger. And I think that just needs to be the priority for him right now. Maybe just feeling that, look, with this Tiny, the fact that he's been able to get that first kill, now that he's level 2 already, even if you were to rotate, you're probably going to have a pretty crappy time.
We are, Gabby at the moment, unfortunately, unable to find too many last hits. Only got 6. Keep in mind with the ranged against kind of the melee, so it can be a little bit awkward to try and see. Savage actually wants to jump Febby. Puts up point in the dive, so a lot of harassment here. So we'll always got to keep kind of tabs on down bot. The Viper and the Tiny is going to be a super aggressive lane where we're already seeing kind of constant engagements, you know, getting chucked out, and the fact that they're able to drag back with the creep equilibrium. You know, once Nevermind hits level 3, they got to be super careful from TNC.
Have to be careful here with KP. Tosses him back under the tower again. The stun's coming through as well, and that tower will do most of the work.
And there we go. Level 3 now picked up, so that's just the second death for the Chaos Knight. And I'm a bit worried because this is a hero that, yes, you're a position 3, not a 1, but you're still a pretty decent lane dominating hero. And if you have a rough lane, you don't have the greatest way to keep up in farm. You know, high innate built-in farming mechanic like someone like a Zen, or, you know, even just any ways to clear camp. So could get pretty difficult here if he keeps dying a couple extra times. It's just another toss back. So Tim's under the tower, man. This Tiny's just styling on them right now. It's just the impact that Q's already having, and we're going to see that continue as the game goes on. As now KP, and he's getting chased down, and they got tossed once again.
Ooh,
KP just gets out of range. Yeah, we did see Motivate play the Tiny in both their games versus T1 on the first day, and Q had very good performances. I mean, they weren't able to win that series, but we did see how strong he is on the hero, and we're going to see some rotations come through for the power runes as well. Fearless gets the DD, but it's going to cost him his life, however, with Tim showing up. And they get the... Okay, he gets the bottle as well. No.
Yeah, little unfortunate. I feel like maybe their Q could have used the avalanche to disrupt a lot of that aggression coming through, but I think he might have only just got the mana for it, so wasn't really paying attention to that. Well, he's going to make the rotation back towards the bottom side. He's seeing Tim's make his way rotating up through here, and yeah, as this laner, you're just going to turn around and book it away because you don't want to get anywhere close to this Viper, especially after the good early stage. Again, going for the Urn of Shadows, realizing that, look, if we're having this good start, then why not just further that into getting some additional damage out in the early stages.
Void Spirit has had a very good time mid though. Once again, we're kind of seeing the Void do a little bit better in a matchup than I wouldn't expect as often. And we do have a bounty rune engagement. Nevermind's going to come a little bit later, but he's already got the 3 points up on the poison attack. Unfortunately, the Tiny unable to get the combination off. So who got that bounty? Tim's did okay. Just going to be a 2 for 2, looks like.
How are the other lanes looking? Gabby's recovered a little bit. You know, we mentioned towards the start he only had 6 last hits compared to, I believe, Pierre had around 10. But, you know, being able to pull it back, he's basically on level pegging right now, and only 10 gold away from that Javelin. So, I'd look to make some moves happen sooner rather than later, but, you know, not really all that useful until he's got the focus fire as well.
You see Boombo just like, alright, I'm able to trade pretty well with you thanks to the Melodic. Unfortunately about the cooldown, but we got mid lane though, Fearless. Both these heroes with the level 6. See, Armel might be able to jump back in with Tim's in the area. Looks like they're just trying to contest around the power rune, and Fearless. He's going to use a lot of mana to get it. Now eats the LSC with a 3-second Chaos Bolt. Armel will follow up, and Fearless will not be able to escape there. Very nicely done. Once again, trying to find that power rune is going to be his demise.
Yeah, uncharacteristic from Q not to help out his mid laner for that sort of thing. It did cost both KP and the laner moving away from it. Will he be able to catch up in time to get this Viper Strike off? No, not quite. So KP should be just fine.
I got a pretty aggressive ward up top as well, with Radiant mirroring that ward too, so at least going to give them the understanding that Armel is making this rotation. We're starting to see him wanting to get involved across the map, especially because Gabby just picked up that Javelin as well and is getting closer towards the level 6. So looks like he's pretty aware, though. I believe he just pinged out exactly where that ward was on the high ground.
Getting closer to the boots of speed as well. Not too much lockdown. Haven't been able to level up the shackle shot, obviously just prioritizing living. Getting that solid amount of experience first.
Armel still hanging around. He can't commit forward with the TP, but now he's in trouble. The cast Q following up with the Avatos back under the tower here. And Armel, the simulate's going to be up in a second, but it looks like it's not going to matter. He will end up falling, tries to get Boom Bell. But, I mean, he stayed at the top side for a very long time. Then, still ends up dying. I mean, I guess Tim's is soaking up the experience mid.
Savage.
A lot of wasted here is, yeah, Savage could be in trouble now. Gabby's got the level 6, so see the focus fire. Trying to get in range his Q's for that strike away. And fine, so let's focus down for a little bit. And keeps his life at least. See if we can get any regen to keep himself at top 2.
Bullies him out of the lane, make sure that needing to buy additional regen, although is this just with Boom Bell? I suppose that's one of the advantages of having the 1 point in the Voodoo Restoration. You don't need to spend as much. Febby, he dived in previously. Wonder how these bounces are going to go.
Oh, in their favor. Savage will get it, just Boom Bell. A beautiful play from the support, making sure he doesn't take that last hit away. Not that the Witch Doctor's really going to do much with the gold, like some of the other supports here. So, very nicely done. PA getting in the kill graph now.
Accelerate him forward a little bit. He's not too far away from that. They might even opt to go for the broadsword just for the additional damage, considering he does have the Witch Doctor that doesn't really want to leave the lane all that much, so he's going to be able to keep him nice and healthy.
They're going to smoke up. Febby was in that as well, but looks like he's opting to try and potentially wrap on top just in case they do dive Gabby. It looks like TNC, they're thinking about trying to dive, never mind, however. He's got some extra reinforcements with KP and Tim's.
Well, he's scouting out these stacks that are happening, though. And might be Fearless that starts to make the move towards that one. You can see Q is immediately starting his move over. Oh, actually gone by.
Never mind's in trouble. Q's going to come forward. Looks like the Viper's still alive at the moment. Armel didn't want to commit too far, but he's still going to drop. And now without the extra rotations, Q just TP's in, but doesn't really get anything out of it. And he's just going to continue to get chased down as TNC, they find 2 kills. The issue is that they are losing their stacks. You see, they're instantly going to try and TP in and contest this. Febby, though, is in trouble. Phil is going to dive forward. Tim's, if he can get in range for the stun, Febby actually dives in, but he's still already melodicked up, so would have died nonetheless. And almost slams it with the power shot. So across the map, TNC, they do get 3 kills. They lose the stack at the hard camp, however.
Radiant's bottom tower is
Not
under attack.
horrible, it has to be said. I mean, Fearless had, as we were talking about before, the rougher start out of the Storm Spirit and the Void Spirit. He's going to be able to stack up this camp himself, collect a bounty rune, might even look to connect through onto the top side because Savage, he is in trouble.
He's ultra dead here, nowhere to jump to. He's already used the Phantom Strike. We'll get one more out, but it doesn't matter. Gabby able to chase him down, and this is by the 10 minutes as well, so it looks like Dire should be able to get a couple across the map. There's been a pretty good start, even overall, but TNC a decent minimal net worth lead, I should say.
I wonder what Febby's saving for. He's got the gold to be able to finish up his Tranquils, but just sitting back on about 400 G. Very
Gotta be the
unlikely.
Tranks, yeah? Can't.
I mean, yeah, but he's got it. He's got the money. Just buy it.
Oh, couple sentries. We'll get the Windlace after.
What about 2 sentries and Tranquil?
And then Tranks, yeah. just de-warding. Febby's playing the team game. Probably didn't even need 3 though, but there we go. Some mutual items getting picked up. That's all 4 from Radiant. Now trying to set up on Gabby top though. Zip forward. Boom Bell. Let's see if you get lucky with the bounces here. Gabby trying to protect himself with Wind Run, but he's pretty much perma-stunned. Now he's still going to try and turn and kill off the Witch Doctor here, but he's got to be careful because he's losing his health thanks to Fearless, who doesn't have too much mana though. Claims a kill, but it's going to cost him his life, it looks like. No TP rotations, but Armel is going to go to work here with this Void Spirit. Doesn't even want to use that last ultimate, so Febby will claim the kill. So it's a 2-for-1. You lose your position 1 from TNC, but you're getting involved there, and Storm's still kind of suffering at the moment.
Oh no, he just places the sentry ward as the observer ward expires. So unfortunate for Febby there. Just getting to him a little bit slow. And finally buys up the windlace. And the wand. He is loving it.
He's rich after that kill. Alright, Cube smoked up. See what he's able to do down bot. He's got the help of Nevermind here, who could be in trouble. It's a Phantasm. He's going to try and wrap on the back. Even Fearless going to TP over. This is a nice combination with the damage, but it looks like Shackle's going to give them the space. Fearless can still chase for more. Gets onto Tim's. Now we'll try and zip to the northern side to deal with KP. 2 down from TNC. Armel is underneath vision as well. He's getting cut off in the river. Boombell with an invis. See if they can chain lock him down though, because it's going to be a pretty difficult kill. Gets to dissimulate to the Astral Step.
Nicely done by Q again, just with that setup, and like you were mentioning with the CK falling down those couple of times, having a look at the net worth chart, he is a fair ways behind the Viper. You know, obviously being a melee hero, no innate farming mechanisms, and it does need to be just dominating the lane with the lifesteal, getting a couple of kills if you're lucky, but it's a lot harder for him to come back from this sort of start.
Really struggling at the moment, and see if they can just continue to kind of delay this one as well. TNC smoked up. Let's see Boombell if they want it. They want to probably a core instead. It's like Nevermind might be the target, but the smoke's going to pop thanks to the low ground positioning from the Witch Doctor. They're going to go on different targets. Chaos Knight controlling the Viper. Not going to eat the Remnant. They're still going to continue chasing with the drag back. Nevermind will end up falling, so they actually get both there. Nicely done from TNC. A good smoke maneuver. Q mid, however, sets up for the zip. Doesn't actually get the damage, but he's already got the Orchid completed. He's used a lot of mana, though. Let's see if TNC want to continue chasing. They will not. So Orchid's going to get revealed here from the Storm Spirit.
Getting a lot closer to that MKB as well on Gabby. It just feels like this hero that, well, it is this hero that needs to be completely reliant on kills to make any sort of stuff happen. You're never going to be able to farm quite as effectively as essentially every other hero in Gabby's pool. Even something like a Slark, you know, you can use the Dark Pack to accelerate at a pretty rapid rate. Doesn't cost quite as much mana as the power shot, so yeah, he's having a rough one.
You know, meanwhile, we see the Phantom Assassins having a pretty good game. I mean, Savage is farming top. I believe, yeah, he's got almost all the components, just needing one more in that Void Stone. So it's going to have relatively decent timing. We saw earlier on it was a lot better of a timing for the Phantom Assassin, but this has been a game where it hasn't been perfect, to say the least. But he will still be able to get the tower and then a couple more creep waves to get closer as we see Radiant. They've got a very nice backline ward, so it's scouting out Dire, maneuvering with the rest of the team to kind of group up mid and put pressure on the T1. They know that still, when TNC group up, there's not much a PA or a Storm can do, and still they don't have the blink on Tiny. It's a bit too early for him.
Nice timing on the glyph, delaying it out from a full spell rotation coming through. They tried to use the Resonant Pulse, the Dissimulate, the Light Strike Array, just to get rid of it, and that's given them the time to be able to rotate through. Nevermind should be able to protect this tower now. Who have they found though? Boombell?
Hunting though, that ward on the high ground, very aggressively down bot from TNC, should be able to enable them to find the kill. Even the Laguna's going to cut him down, but meanwhile bot though, Q, along with Fearless, they're going to zip in forward, try and bring down the Wind Ranger. Looks like the damage, Orchid not going to tick him out though, and Gabby trying to juke with the Wind Run is going to get a little bit of health back as now, and Fearless is out of mana completely, so Gabby's going to be able to keep his life. Now they can turn Chaos Bolt, drag back, beautifully played. Just the kiting potential, KP stunning them up as well. They find 3 across the map, and now some bounties still left to claim 2. And they might just link mid, actually. They're going to be very careful on Nevermind. This ward's going to see KP. You know, still pretty difficult to dive a Viper like that, but with the catapult, looks like they'll nonetheless get the tier 1.
They should. Again, just these small misplays that a team like TNC are able to
Radiant's
punish so
middle tower has
effectively. He
fallen.
just zips a little bit too far to the right, doesn't have the range to get the right click off to finish off Gabby. He probably dies regardless, but it's very different if you're able to stifle the enemy position 1. And now that's an MKB for Gabby, so that's all he really needs. He's level 12 as well, so that focus fire is up every 50 seconds, and he's going to start making these rotations, particularly going for Nevermind, who's had a decent time in the start.
Yeah, we're going to see the pickup potential really start to skyrocket here for Gabby. He's going to try and reveal that MKB down bot as Q's trying to farm towards the Blink Dagger, but unfortunately it's going to continue getting delayed here. As Fearless is coming down too. I don't know if this high ground ward actually scouted him out unless he went really far down in the southern side to get to the bot lane, so they might be aware of his positioning. Let's see if they're looking to punish. Armel's going to show though.
KP just yoinked that kill away, by the way, from that MKB reveal, but
Oh, he did
understandable.
too.
He needs to get back on the core leaderboard, I guess, and he's very close to his Shadow Blade, so we talk about these different pick-off potentials. Even if you've had a rough start, that's going to help.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Still got a very even game, but we are seeing Savage start to get a lot of farm here as they're showing top. Leads in with the LSA. Gabby's going to be able to follow up. Focus Fire still on cooldown at the moment, but it looks like the damage with that Laguna Blade, the help of Tim's, and unfortunately it was just a bit too far away from the tower. Once again, Q as well could be in trouble.
Did a good job playing safely, not wanting to get super greedy, go for that range creep as well, and he's going to live because of it.
Fearless. Shadow Amulet for the Lina. He's got some heroes in the backline. He's going to reveal himself. It looks like Boombell showing up, but Gabby's going to punish him here. Try and find the kill, but instant Shackle is going to be able to get rid of it. Try and get the Observer. Fearless coming over too. Wait, they actually keep Boombell alive, but they can continue punishing here as Armel tries to find the catch on the Storm Spirit. Nevermind's going to be in trouble though as KP and Fearless cut off the retreat opportunity for the Viper. He'll attempt the TP, but that's a bit ambitious there.
I don't need to brag. I let others sing my praise.
Didn't get the Observer Ward. Disappointed.
Is Febby going to die? Yeah, okay. His there in Sentry's just a little bit out of range, unfortunately. So it's just another pick off there. You know, we see the MKB win range is now 4-1-4. So a little bit worrying here is Gabby's continuously trying to play where the Tiny kind of wants to and just really doing a good job at trying to pick them off. But Q was gonna go up there, but as soon as he saw the power shot, he's like, all right, that's definitely not a safe spot for me to be.
Yeah, and I don't know if he needs to be that deep right now. He is 30 gold away from his Blink
Yep.
Dagger. Just buy it, you know, and then make the maneuver.
Go hit some neutrals or something. Use all your
There we
mana, go back and... Yeah, you're gonna pop the mango, okay. Well, he has got the blink, even the faded brooch, so one of the better items here for the Tiny. Let's see the impact for Q. Had a very strong laning stage. Haven't really seen the rotation so far as Motivate been playing pretty passive, but this is kind of enabling Savage as he hasn't really been pressured too much since he's picked up the Battle Fury. I mean, working towards the Deso, it looks like. He's got the Blight Zone already with about 1,300 gold in the bank.
The smoke as well coming out. Witch Doctor go in the opposite direction though, just wanting to stay around 23 Savage. I guess that's the smart way to go about things. You've got a lot of escape potential with Armel here. He's even got the bottle with the Invis inside of it, so he should be okay. Although he stands there just to get rooted. Well, doesn't get spooked out by it. That's a cool head.
Cool cucumbers, some may say, and he's going to see actually trying to get aggressive. They do have the Observer Ward Sentry around that top power rune, so they're well aware of Armel's positioning. It looks like they want to try and TP in and contest the bounty, but Q's going to reveal the blink straight on top of Chaos Knight. They're going to be careful on Fearless though. The Yule's going to get the Remnant off fast enough. Fearless going to get dragged back. Gabby as well. Can he get any MKB procs? Yes, he does. Storm will fall. He's going to buy back. He doesn't really want to rejoin them here. Somehow KP's still alive as well. It's a beautiful supernova on the high ground. There's just nothing they can do about it. They're going to instead try and kite to the northern side as KP drags back the Viper. They'll attempt the TP out. Oof, almost gets the cancel. But a 2-for-1 in the end. Somehow KP keeps his life.
That's just, you know, strength hero things. Very, very good strength gain. He opted to go for the bracer, given that he was having a hard time in the lane. I think he also had a raindrop as well that was consumed towards the start of that fight. So that would have helped his survivability as well. Allows the rest of the team to connect up and, yeah, another team fight victory going TNC's way.
At least the Viper's got a Blade Mail now, so it is going to stop a lot of the prowess of the Wind Ranger being able to find that pick off. Of course, with a lot of the rest of the team as well, just giving him at least some space to stop them from dishing out damage for a period of time. But they're still, you know, this is now Savage with a Desolator, so if they win a fight, they're definitely going to be able to take Roshan with ease.
You've also got BKB timing set to come out for Gabby. He's just got the recipe minus about 1,000 gold left. And I think on the Storm Spirit as well, yeah, he's around the same point. Just a little bit of a net worth lead there on the Wind Ranger instead, but shouldn't be too long until Fearless can close the gap.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Moving up to the high ground, they weren't smoked up, and I mean Q with that advantage in the daytime is just going to be able to see them. They didn't have KP leading instead with the Shadow Blade. He's still kind of pushing out, and it looks like Radiant actually. Do they want to smoke? It looks like they just want to contest it without even smoking up Q. Is he going to jump forward? Goes in the lane instead. Oh, nice LSA. They're going to be able to turn. Finds the Storm Spirit, just melts through him. And on top of the backline as well, Nevermind's in trouble. They'll toss them away. KP, got to be careful. Sunray's going to try and do as much as it can against the Melodic. Not going to do much. Febby even going forward. Gets the Sunray off fast enough. And now Nevermind just chased down from RML. They'll get a third in the Tiny. And they know the Witch Doctor's stuck here. Boombell, please don't find me. I'm at ball low position 5.
Dire's top tower is
I
under
know at least
attack.
around about where he is. But they don't know that he's got a shield. They find him, never mind. They know he's got a Samuel but or down from Motivate. I mean, the only survivor, you know, PA, but not showing up to that fight just yet, is Savage really trying to find the BKB until he feels comfortable.
A little surprising given the fact that he had just finished up the Desolator. It seems like the type of fight that you would want to join, but yeah, I mean, it shows the effectiveness of just being a little bit short of that BKB money. That would have been a completely different fight if Fearless just didn't get burst from 100 to 0.
Such a good movement. It's so fast-paced. They're not going to expect it. Phantom Assassin picked off. You don't show up, we'll come to you. Down for 50. Man, that I'd love to see that from TNC. You get 4 kills. Where's the PA going to be? The opposite side of the map of where you are. You smoke up, head to top. Easy pick off. As soon as they got the Aghanims as well from the Void Spirit. Great play from TNC.
Also placing down that Observer Ward, so that's the sort of thing that they're just going to repeat again. Sorry, 2 Observer Wards. There was one even placed in the medium camp.
Fearless? If he shows, Void can definitely jump here. He doesn't have anything defensive, so once again, you see the Void Spirit just completely countering up the Storm here. This catch potential is just so goddamn strong.
All those arrows being drawn, Savage is like, push the lanes in. Do something. We got to stall this out. I'll carry this game, but you just got to give me time.
Well, time, they might be running out of it right now, though, as TNC, they've been able to accumulate about a 4,000 net worth lead advantage over the past, couple of minutes here with their successful movements. They're now able to get the first tier 2 tower of the game. They got a pretty decent experience lead as well, you got to keep in mind, which is always important. Febby's got level 13, so extra point up in the Supernova. We even see KP's, doing relatively well to kind of keep up. Well, I mean, I say keep up, you're still behind in the cause, but man, Storm's really struggling. 7 deaths for Fearless.
Yeah, and even Febby just in that previous fight around the bot lane. Oh, speaking of fights, we're about to get another one. TP's coming in onto the outpost, and they're scattering on Motivate.
Armel instantly trying to jump forward. Remnant not going to be able to catch Q. Thought he was going for a TP there. They're even wrapping on the back as KP with this Boom Belt. Doesn't drop a sentry, unfortunately. It's going to be the ward, so it doesn't see KP, and it's going to be a pick-off where they can lead that into a tier 1 if they want to. They don't have as strong of a lineup to take Roshan, which is a bit of an issue here down bot, though. Storm Spirit almost getting solo killed by Tims with the right clicks after the combo's not enough. But Fearless, I mean, he's just back to base once again, just wasting a lot of time. Even if you don't get the kill, he's not farming.
He's not farming at all. I thought maybe it was a little premature from Tims because he did have Febby nearby.
Drops a Supernova, was trying to kill off the Phoenix there. Nova's going to end up popping. Now he's in no man's land with KP coming over. Savage going to be careful. He doesn't have any help at all. Tims drops the LSA with a 4-second Chaos Bolt. This PA was looking for space, but is the one that just runs into TNC.
You're not going to be carrying anything from the grave. Are they going to just look to go to Roche with this? It looks like it is. And, well, Gabby's already started it. He popped the Lincolns on the Roche, and he's focus firing him down.
Middle tower is under attack.
Tims also finds the Viper. They probably need a rotation from an extra hero. It looks like they still just want to don't want to bring anyone else. Just secure Roche, get the Viper afterwards. Is he still hunting though?
Roshan has fallen to
Never
the
mind.
dark.
I mean, at least LSA's been used, so he should be able to TP up.
Dire are scanning.
Just gets out. This is the composure of TNC. Even after a disastrous laning stage for that bot side and not
Radiant's
having their
middle
lanes go
tower is
exactly
under
as they
attack.
planned, they're able to pull it back. It's just through
Dire's
some
top
great movement
tower
coming
is
through
under attack.
from the pos 4s. Q did everything he possibly could have in that laning stage, but if your cores are getting picked off, there's only so much that Tiny can do.
You see, at the moment, it just feels like they haven't been able to get too much of a footing with some form of map control. I mean, there's still a tier 1 mid, still a tier 1 bot as well, so TNC have a lot of these objectives to be able to just control the map, push it out, have a lot of TP points, just really enable a lot of the movements that we've been seeing so far from them. And I mean, Amo is actually going for an Octarine as his next item. He's already got the soul booster.
Ooh. Alright, I don't mind it. Getting a nice little pupil's gift as well. Just bouncing around on the spot inside this jungle as well.
I thought the simulate was instant. I guess not.
Did it deliberately block that camp? What's going on there?
Yeah, Hunt and Boom though. Silence. Checks him against the cast. Gonna get the double silence as well.
That's a 27-minute camp, and he's blocking it. You want more chances to get neutral items, not less.
They don't care. They're like, all right, well, Gabby might get a pick off. Never mind. He's in trouble here. Gabby, focus, fight up. They still got that extra life. They're going to toss him away now with the blade mail as well. But Gabby just pops the BKB. He doesn't give a shit about the blade mail. Now they're going to turn for more. Boom Ball under the tower. KP's got the control. I mean, still it looks like Savage isn't in fighting shape at the moment. Q's going to try and toss him away.
Middle tower is
These
under
are some
attack.
towers that they're looking to claim, or are those? Tim's setting up for Fearless top. They're even going to TP into the outpost as well, so Fearless going to be pretty careful here. Tim's going to try and scout out. We see the Remnant potentially getting blocked up here. Now they need to perma-lock him, and they will be able to do so. Nicely done. That is 8th death of the game here from the Storm.
I think the big call there was, look, let's try and push lanes out. If we
Dire's
die, we
bottom
die.
tower is
Just
under
make sure you're not
attack.
popping any big cooldowns, because they were just waiting for this BKB to come out onto 23 Savage. He's finally got it.
Radiant's top
He
tower is
might
under
even
attack.
look to be extra greedy and wait for the level 20, so he's got the
Radiant
minus armor
structures
corruption,
are
try and blow
fortified.
up one of these cores that is on a kill streak.
Radiant's
That
middle
could be the
tower
thing that
is
brings them
under
back
attack.
into the game.
Yeah, there's always this potential about a Phantom Assassin just popping off, so we'll see what Savage is going to be able to do. Unfortunately,
Radiant's
he
top
doesn't
tower
have
is under
this
attack.
steroid that we see
Dire's
constantly
bottom tower is under
in a lot of
attack.
lineups at the moment, so it's just going to kind of have to be all up to the Phantom Assassin, who now gets the 20. He's even got the Orb of Destruction, so there we go. A little bit of
Radiant's top
extra
tower
minus
is under
armor.
attack.
And a repair kit too, so good to be able to store this out for that little bit longer. He goes the armor corruption because, of course, you're going against a Wind Ranger with an MKB already. That extra evasion, not going to be all that impactful.
Yeah, it could be a little bit awkward going high ground here for TNC. They don't have the greatest sieger. I mean, probably going to rely on the Wind
Dire's
Ranger to
bottom
do
tower
that,
is
but
under
you can just
attack.
chuck out Nether Toxin. Fearless can kind of deal with the wave. You always got to,
Dire's
the
bottom
tiny to
tower
jump,
has
and
fallen.
now with the repair kit as well, it's going to make it a lot more
Radiant's top
difficult.
tower is under attack.
And Gabby's gone the focus
Dire's
fire
bottom
damage
tower
reduction,
is under
popping it onto the
attack.
tower as well, so that's one way to get around a lot of that.
Yeah. D2 Tower is going to get claimed here. They still got the Aegis for another minute at the moment. Let's see how they want to try and position themselves, though, with Radiant sitting around bot. They've got a nice ward kind of around the secret shop area where they were trying to set up and bait with the vision, but you see constantly, it looks like, do they want to try and link to bot? And they're well aware of where they are. KP's hunting, but that Sentry Observer, they're going to be able to see KP at the moment. Do they want to bait this, though? Meanwhile, actually, it looks like Q's going to get caught out, though. Zip forward. They want to try and get a kill in return. However, on top of the Chaos Knight, he's pretty tanky, but he's not going to be tanky enough in the summary. He doesn't do anything, but now Gabby's in. The Silence feels he's in trouble. Pops the BKB, but Gabby's going to be able to continue chasing that turn.
Oh.
Savage, massive crit. Now he's going to try and find Febby. He gets the Supernova, instantly TPing out to Phantom Assassin. They want to try and disengage here. He will make it away. So they get the kill on the Chaos Knight. You force out the Aegis and that Sunray. So, a couple of BKBs getting used, but at least you keep your life.
Pretty well done by Motivate. I think right now it's just wait for that next BKB. Has to be careful where he's going about the farm. I suppose he's got the vision. Nice placements of those observer wards there on the Radiant side. He needs the basher. He needs to be able to lock someone down, like the Void Spirit in particular. Or even if he gets a lucky bash onto the Phoenix, he
Dire
doesn't get
are
the Supernova
scanning.
off, and they're able to continue fighting. You can just see playing really scared right now, waiting for the safest neutral camp in the entire game to become available for him. But even then, just not wanting to venture outside of this base radius.
Yeah, Dire just continuing to kind of suffocate them in the portion of the map. We've seen that the rest of the cores on Motivate have really struggled to be able to find the farm. Like somehow Chaos Knight is only 400 gold behind the Storm Spirit, who's going for the items as the next item. We even got a Halberd completed now on the Viper as well.
I feel like this is a little bit of a mistake from Fearless holding the Clumsy Net instead of the Titan Sliver. Every single time he's died, it's just because of 100 to 0. So to be able to forego the status resistance and the magic resistance, I think is a little bit silly.
Dire try and smoke up. Let's see who they can find. Fearless gonna show on the lane here. It's a target they want. Savage is also kind of down bot in the tree line, which is getting pinged out from Febby. KP, smoke's gonna pop. Uh-oh, Savage, they find him. That power shot pops the BKB. Let's see if they can bring him down through the duration. Does damage enough? It's not. Well, I guess that pops the BKB though, so it's getting lower and lower. 8 seconds now. They do smoke up all to bot. It's kind of, you know, allowing Radiant to shove in some of the other lanes, but you see instantly both Armel and also KP trying to set up on Q top.
Dire structures are fortified.
And they're going all in onto this PA. Oh, who have they found here? Is Q going to be able to get away?
Oh, Gabby, nicely done. Catches him out. You saw that TP to the with the boots of travel almost a bit early there before they initiated, gave him the chance to blink, but at least they had multiple ways to be able to find him in the tree line. So just another pick off. We've seen now the Wind Ranger is 9-1-9 for Gabby.
Accept as the next queue up for the Storm Spirit, wanting to just get the lucky crit. Let's be real. They're trying to get on for Savage there. He's doing a little bit of scouting here in the trees. Just playing the same game that he has the entire time.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
He knows.
Unfortunately, he already used LSA. Radiant, they are kind of around Fearless here.
Has to be careful though. Boom Bell and Savage are right here.
They get the connection. Now they're going to be able to instantly bring him down. And now PA's also stunned up. Tim's, there's no vision to be able to utilize. Now they're going to go back forward. Gabby, Windrun. Going to be able to pop it, turn. Savage with the BKB. They need the control. He's going to try and TP out now as well. So once again, a BKB completely useless here from the Phantom Assassin. And Boom Bell stunned up. So they'll lose 2. And TNC are just running them across the map like a... This is just a beautiful performance from TNC, where it seems like there's nothing that Motivate can do, just constantly getting picked off. They do see Armel though, who's going to run forward. Really quick timing on the Yule Scepter now. Now KP with the fall straight on top of the Viper. They're even trying to control up Q with Gabby coming forward. The Yule Scepter at least cancels out the shackles, but it's not going to matter as Motivate. They don't have the numbers to at least punish TNC there as just another couple of pickoffs.
Under attack.
Yeah, all these weird positions, you know, just staying in the trees, making sure that you're able to scout out any sort of smokes or anyone trying to split push. IML's done it, Tim's done it plenty of times, and with KP purchasing that Blink Dagger as well, it means that he's just able, with his fast movement speed, he's got Shadow Blade and the Blink Dagger, so he can join any of these encounters so fast.
All the outer towers now claimed, and they're going to have Roshan potentially up. Well, it will be up in actually 15 seconds here, so they should be able to take this one relatively easily. We haven't seen Motivate really, you know, mount a solid fight at all for what feels like quite a while. I mean, the kills been a bit lacking as Tim's once again. Well, Blur's going to pop, so Savage should be aware of the positioning. Pops the BKB instantly. I mean, that is now down to 6 seconds. Literally every BKB he's used to escape.
Yep. Makes me wonder why KP opted to go for the Phantasm talent at level 20 instead of Reality Rift, Pierce's Spell Immune, because I feel like with that -6 armor, it might have been enough even to take him down through the BKB.
Well, Radiant, they're going to smoke up, trying to head down bot. Tim's already shoving out the lane. They do have the Observer Ward. See if Tim's able to scurry himself away fast enough, although Q's got an immense amount of movement speed. He's got to predict it correctly, and he does.
Finally found him.
It's going to be a nice little pick off for them. You see how long it's still taking, though. But they're able... He's down for a long time. Level 22 for the Lina. And they're trying to cut them off if they rotate back through from bot to mid. And this is just, you know, seeing Gabby go up the high ground with a double catapult. Just a little bit of chip damage before they can mount a defense is really important here, considering...
They need that repair kit. There it is.
One repair kit now used. There is a DD right in front of Roche. Let's see if TNC want to try and... I don't think Motivate have to walk out now. You cannot allow TNC to get control around the pit, even with the Lina down.
Yeah. I think maybe the thing that they're hopefully waiting for is this Aghanim Scepter to be completed on the Storm Spirit, but still 700 gold away. A little risky.
Oh, no,
we're not going to see
Savage.
another BKB.
I mean, he might still just die even if he pops the BKB.
Yeah.
Gabby, he's got the DD. Now look at the damage. Oh, no. It was like about like half a second, a little bit late there with that focus fire. Took me a while to find that one.
Wonder if it's nearly worth him using the Paladin sword instead of the Mindbreaker on Gabby. Just keeping it in his inventory just to make sure that he might be able to pick off this PA, especially now, considering BKB is down to, what is it, 6 seconds? No, 5 seconds.
I mean, Savage feels like it's desperation territory at the moment.
Time.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe Abyssal Blade time, but let's be real, it's Rapier time.
Yeah, I think it is. He's gonna have to try and make a play happen as more. Gabby's hunting and Savage, BKB's on cooldown, straight on top of the Witch Doctor here. Yeah, how they're going to be able to take the fight, but just the vision right now. They're going to see them running through the lane. KP with Blink 4. They know the BKB is still on cooldown. They're going to quick yours out. Wind Ranger's got to be careful. Will pop his own. Let's see if they can reset the fight, but they don't have the weight to be able to go through the evasion and cut through from Tim's. And the Shiva is slow. They get the silence. Drags back. Viper's going to end up getting brought down. And Tiny's going to join them in the afterlife as well. There just has not been a fight where Motivate have felt comfortable. You know, it's a game where they're continuing to stall out as much as possible, but unfortunately, it's looking a bit grim here in this second game.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Doing everything he can to slow down the pushes on the lanes, but yeah, Buyback's going to need to come out from, honestly, probably everyone but Boombell. He's up in 10 seconds, but you're going to lose the majority of your base if you don't do anything.
The bin. Silence. Oh, look at the timing. Feels puffed the BKB. KP now. They still get the Vortex drag back. The buyback's coming through. PA doesn't want to buy back just yet. Phyllis almost out of mana, but they get the Atos net as well. Armel's got another ultimate charge with the Dissimulate. They're going to try and reset here. Gabby back in. Finds the timing. LSA just completely controlling him. That's a dieback for the Tiny. Yeah, they got the repair kit, so at least going to help out a little bit here. Zip in what they can do. Fearless going to be careful because it's the back. He doesn't have a lot of mana here. They're just going to try and deal with the rest. There goes the Gills. Armel with the control. Someone needs to eat the remnant, but no one does. Out of the Storm Spirit, drag back. He's silenced. Nothing he can do. Will pay the price. Again, PA continuing to hold the buyback, but it looks like it might just be a little bit too late here. Sets of racks being punished as Gabby's going to have focus fire for the next one. He's even got a blink 4 to try and get another pick off. Witch Doctor instantly melted. He's got the gem. No care in the world about any invis potential. And they can still fall back and take Roche after getting 2 full. And it looks like PA is actually, he's going to Abyssal Blade. He bought the Vanguard. So no Rapier.
Korea's going to be able to make its way to him. They weren't able to snipe it, although it does fall a little bit low on the HP. He's still holding those mangoes. I'm not quite sure about that. You know, Storm Spirit a couple of times now has died because he just doesn't have the mana to zip back out. If he had those to quickly chomp down on, it might have been the difference with being able to get back to the base and mount a protection against, well, probably not that lane of racks, but at least this Aegis attempt.
And now it's going to be Aegis and Cheese for TNC, as they're going to be able to take this one without any contestation from Motivate. A game that has just been a very methodical kind of performance from TNC, which just the slow burner where, you know, it's been just kind of hoping that the PA's able to come online, but still, we'll see what Savage can do now with the Abyssal Blade. I mean, opting for that instead of the Rapier. He's getting closer to the 25. They give him the Tome as well. So hopefully, you know, that extra talent advantage might help out here with a high ground defense, but it's looking grim here.
KB just standing there on the high ground, acting as a ward, a mounted ward right now. He's always got the Blink Dagger to be able to chase people down, and the Illusionist Cape as well. I mean, what else could you possibly want as a CK? About 350 gold away from having the Ags and the buyback too. Sorry, yeah, Ags and buyback, so pretty important to have. Level 25 on the Lena too.
Alright, so they're just gonna at least try and keep them suffocated inside the base. I mean, they got the Aegis for a long duration here. There's no care how long they can utilize this. So, you know, how much gold do they actually have right now? I mean, there's 3,200 on the Void Spirit, so if he wants to try and get an item before the next fight, but they're just going to suffocate them and make it very difficult for Motivate to continue finding these items. We've got a couple 25s. I mean, Armel, the Simulate Stun, Tim's is already 25. He's got the Dragon Slave cooldown, and they're just continuing to put the pressure on.
Maybe they're hoping for level 25 on Motivate for Savage. That can be the only real thing I'm thinking of. It's nearly getting to the point where, probably not without the Rapier, but they're going in on just trying to clear the waves as much as they can. It might be worthwhile to go for the extra coup de grace critical damage as opposed to
Dire are scanning.
the triple dagger.
Look at the illusions just walk off. So many of them. Is that the... yeah, Ag's complete on the Chaos Knight now. That's why.
Yeah.
Inside the base they go. Actually, they find the Viper. Billy's going to try and drag in. Vortex actually doesn't get a connection on anyone. The tower's going to end up dropping. Can you find the jump? Lincoln's pop, but you can keep in mind, I mean, he's got the Aegis. I believe that's their last repair kit usage here, but it's... and Savage still just needing a little bit more experience to get towards that level 25. Almel's going to jump, trying to force something out here. Maybe a BKB will be able to do so. Now with the Beast Blade, they're going to jump forward. Where are the crits coming out? But the protection, they're going to be able to keep him alive. Now Gavin's going to turn. Phantom Assassin melted down. He's going to buy back Tiny as well. Eurcept it up. Supernova's not going to get the stun connection, but it doesn't matter. It just zones Motivate back so they can secure extra kills. And our TNC reset, ready to rock and roll to go back forward. Phantom Assassin, no BKB. They're going to try and control him, but simulate some. Almo finds two. The silence up as well. Wind Ranger just doing way too much work. There's nothing that Motivate can do. This has been a game where they've been kind of relying on the Phantom Assassin to have, you know, some performance, but unfortunately this TNC roster just takes second game here.
Really nicely done. I mean, again, methodical. We were talking about that from the very beginning. TNC are their best when they're able to play the game on their terms. And let's be real, 62 kills in a 43-minute game, that's still a fair amount, but it's always going to be around this 30 to 45-minute timing that TNC are aggressing. They're not one to push their hand a little bit too aggressively. They just know what works for them. And it seems like whenever they get to play their game, they come out with a win more often than not. Gabby, of course, styling 14, 1, and 18, despite not having the laning setup that he might have desired. Honestly, I need to give a few props to Febby. I thought his timings on some of these supernovas were amazing. The Sunray, of course, to be able to maintain his team's sustain in a lot of these team fights. And you saw even there at the very end, making sure he used the Ags to suck in Armel, make sure he was still fighting fit to be able to turn around and have a second go at it. And that's all they needed.
Yeah, it was just such a strong performance where this is a lineup from Motivate that just got picked off too many times. And you saw the BKB usages, you know, the Wind Ranger early game, you know, early mid game, very good versus the PA, because this is someone who's, you know, going to need some time to build that MKB. But once you have it, you're honestly pretty decent versus Wind Ranger. But it just got to the stage where you've got a lineup where Storm's going to take some time, you know, PA's going to take some time, and you can't 5-man. And we've seen 5-man is the way to deal with this Wind Ranger. So you just can't constantly find the pickoffs. Tim's as well with the Lena, you know, KP hunting. They just did such a good job to be able to slow the game down, you know, find the items, get at the stage where they felt comfortable to walk up high ground. And, you know, in the end, TNC, they just, they tie up the series here.
They do indeed. So that is another two teams that end up going 4-2 and 2-4 respectively. So pretty tightly contested across this entire 8-team bracket here. And up next we have Team Dog, the ragtag team coming together, and Execration is the one that they're facing. A little bit of a surprise packet considering that they 2-0'd Neon yesterday. But Team Dog, I think, are another matter entirely. So I'm keen to see how that one goes.
Yeah, let's see. I mean, Execration at the start of the day were on top of the table, you know, looking pretty strong. But again, you know, they've versed with one of the open qualified team and maybe another team that you'd expect to be kind of towards the bottom. So, you know, this is just a more worthy opponent is Team Dog, as they're also trying to continue their run throughout the group stages so far. So we're going to take a bit of a break here before the third series is underway, guys. We'll be back shortly.
Mm-hmm.